Straight talk from Israel. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hi everyone, this is Orly Davis and this is from Jerusalem with Love. Today is October 28, 2020 and we are here in Israel, the Holy Land, the only Holy Land in the whole world, wanting to recognize one of God's lost warrior that left us last Saturday, Yehuda Barkan, a man that was a superstar, but he uses stardom for God's works. We will play an interview that we took a long time ago, on May 26, 2016 with him, and we'll try to capture what he was saying then and create the message of today, because he was talking always on God's works, and that's why it was so special to me, and is a dear friend of mine that I lost this week with a lot of pain and grief, but I want to honor him. Now, and after that, in the next segment, we're going to listen to him, God willing. After that, we're going to have two incredible friends, people that, got a long walk in the Jewish faith and do a lot of amazing things. We're going to talk about Ethiopia. We're going to talk about what's going on with the New Deal. Is it good? Is the New Deal getting Donald Trump closer to the way of God work? Because we are living in the redemption era. If anybody can think about the peace accords, the combination of also some sort of people and the kumbaya that we have, even that the fight, the pressure creates some kind of amalgamation that is a new thing. Now, we want to ask the question if Donald Trump is on the way with God's prophecy and God's work, or he deviated, because he can come as a great messenger and one day he start deviating, can leave. But I believe that he's on the right track. So let's go to a break. We'll listen to in the next segment to the interview I had with Yehuda Barkan on the Tamar Yona show that was in 2016 when we just started to talk. So let's go to a break and we'll be back after this.
Israel is located in one of the most volatile areas in the world. Israel is an island of stability in a sea of war and unrest. In the midst of this turmoil, Israel stands out as a beacon of order and human progress. Each week we update you on what's happening in this, the Jewish state, a true light unto the nations. This is Jay Shapiro. Join me every Thursday on Israel News Talk Radio.
All right, and we are back. It's Orly Davis with the Tamar Yana show. Tamar is gracious enough to give me some space, so maybe we can find a new match. No, I didn't tell you about myself at all. And it's about time you get introduced to Orly Davis as somebody who, maybe knows what she's talking about. It's all given with this condition. Whatever you predict today, it's never something you can bet on tomorrow. So let's all take it with a grain of salt and know that there is a God and it's not us. Now, I've been living in America for quite some time. So I've been introduced to American politics, so the Jewish politics, many years ago when I just arrived, fresh bride from the boat from Italy. My husband was in Italy, and we are happy to be a part of the American jury, and we work together. Now, we have our guest here, so I'll be back to talk to you some more later. But we have Mr. Yehuda Barkan on the line. Yehuda, are you on?
Yeah, without a mister. Just Yehuda Barkan.
Oh, my goodness gracious. We have Yehuda in the house. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
All right. Now, Yehuda Barkan is a famous superstar of the Israeli movies industry. He's one of a kind because what he does for the Israeli, nobody else can make it. He's like our like Dustin Hoffman. He's somebody who is so great that even that you have see a movie after 40 years, it still makes everybody laugh. Now, every Yom Ha'atzmaut, we get you. We get your movies, right? We get your film.
Right. But it's not just every Yom Ha'atzmaut. It's almost every day. It depends which television you have, because if you have, the Yes television, there's a special channel, channel 6, and in channel 6 you can see a lot of Israeli films, and and I'm one of them. First of all, I have to excuse a little bit because my English is, of course, not like yours. Yeah.
Oh, so, you're wonderful.
Yeah. So if you feel that I miss a word, you'll help me. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I'll always help you, my friend. You're one of a kind. Now, you're a great spirit. Yehuda, tell me, what's your secret?
Well, I have the big secret is to believe in God.
Yes.
This is the best thing, because the minute that you know that we have a God, that we have a Father that follow after us, that you know that there is someone that takes care of you. You know that's the best secret, to be a little bit more relaxed. And I give you just for example what I mean. We are living here in Israel, about 8 million, surrounded in this minute from south till west by 250 million Arabs. I mean, they can come, and just by walking, they can destroy us.
Yeah, and don't put ideas in their head.
People that are living here, everybody is afraid of us because everybody knows that God is with us. That's
absolutely. Amen.
Yeah.
It's really amazing because you told a very famous story about the time when the Iraqi missile in 1992. When everybody were in the house, in shelter, and everybody were looking up. Remember that story that you told everybody, how you found that God must exist because everybody were looking up?
39 missiles fell on Israel, and nobody hurt. One missile, if you remember, fell in Saudi. 25 soldiers, American soldiers, נעלמו. How do you say נעלמו?
Disappeared.
Disappeared, 25. So then this was a kind of a trigger to understand that there's someone that's
power.
How do you say mechaseh?
It's protect us. Yes, absolutely. We have a very big divine power that overshed everything. We are protected. Yeah, God bless, of course. That's what is special about the Jewish people. That's why we are here, and that's why me and you understand each other so well, because I trust in God. I know how God works, and I know is wonderful. And you, my friend, every time I talk about God, it's incredible. We're going to run out of the clock here, so anytime, we disappear, it's please forgive us. It's important to the world to understand.
Your lovely audience. I just finished a film. And
All
the
right.
film calls The Stories of Rabbi Nachman from Uman.
Yes.
And this is a wonderful film, and this film is I played an English king over there. Can you imagine me as an English king?
Of course.
King?
Of course I can imagine you as a king. Why not?
And this is something that, for the American people, we're going to, well, I hope that something around September, we're going to make a big tour in the United States. Now, don't forget the name, Stories of Rabbi Nachman. And this is something that, believe me, even a Jew, and even a non-Jew, I know that evangelists are not Jewish, but they do believe in God, will see this film. Well, who knows? Because this might be a kind of a Messiah that will be, how do you say it?
That will unite everybody. Of course, that's the message of the Jewish people who's supposed to bring light to everybody and unite their voices. Absolutely.
Okay, let me tell you a little secret. It's the first time in my life that I made an interview in English.
And I think you did an excellent job. You're wonderful. I told you, you're incredible. You're not a superstar for nothing, God's give this blessing to whoever you choose and you are doing God's work, and may God bless you wherever you go and a lot of else, and I know that you're happy, and you're a really happy person, so it's really a joy being with you constantly and talking to you, and I'm so honored to call you my friend.
Yeah. And I'm honored to be your friend.
Thank you, sir. I hope that you come back and talk some more next time, because it's special to have you here, and it's special that the world is blessed to have such a superstar. And if you speak to them in English, they can understand what we all feel and believe in. So, Yehuda, I hope that everybody can find the time to see your movie. I hope that your movie of Nachman, the famous Nachman rabbi, will be all over, and you can keep on God's work in this universe. Okay?
Thank you, Orly.
Thank you, sir, for coming. I appreciate it. God bless you. Laila Tov. Thank you.
Well, we hope that now they'll listen. But the next time, with God's wish, they will see me, and we can talk, because what we are doing now, we are making a tour all over now in Israel, but then a tour all over the world, and after the screening, it's a meeting where they're asking questions, and we are answering. It's going to be something. It's not to go to see a film. It's a kind of event. That's the best question.
Yes, and you promised me we're gonna have lunch too, and we can send, and we can say hello to a lot of people. It's important for us. You're incredible. That's what is your secret. You talk to people and you make them feel so special all the time. So yes, they have to invite you, and they have to see this movie, and I hope it's going around all over Israel. And hope that, words of God, every time you go and you present it. So I'm sure he's going to find you the way. All right?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being on my show, on the Tamariana show. Thank you. God bless you. Okay. And it's a All right, and we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is From Jerusalem with Love. We just listened to the incredible interview with, rest in peace, my friend Yehuda Barkan, who spoke about his movie that he made in English, about Rabbi Nachman, and he says something that we want to remember. He said, I hope they listen now. I hope they know, because his secret is to believe in God. And when you believe in God, you have somebody to take care of you. You're never alone. That's why loneliness never exists of people who believe. People who believe walk with God. They know he's going to be okay. So let's tell our friends from United States, from Israel, from Canada, United Kingdom, France, Slovakia, Norway, Brazil, and my friend Vietnam. Welcome to the show, because we are here for you, and we're working hard to give you even the voices from the past, because we honor those friends of ours, people who did a lot of work, and we never forget them. They're in our heart, and they gonna stay there, especially with the messages. And with Yehuda Barkan, you got so many movies to enjoy. I hope they translate them sometimes, so you guys can have the real Israeli spirit. Now we're gonna go to a break, and after that we're gonna talk to Ilan Ronen, a very great man that knows a lot of things about Ethiopia and a lot of things about what we need to do. Okay, let's take a break and we'll be back after this.
The Tamar Yona Show.
Tamar? She's sassy.
She's smart.
She's funny.
But she's also a real Jewish mother.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tamar Yona. And yes, I can be all of those things, but at Israel News Talk Radio, I'm here to bring you the news stories and guests that you may not hear anywhere else. Join me live on air Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays for the most unique and bold talk radio in Israel.
The Tamar Yona Show.
Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Did you know this psalm and many others were composed by a Jewish shepherd and musician who later became a king? Would you like to know some of the inner meanings of psalms to help you connect with God and strengthen your soul? An exciting and easy-to-read book is now available which will help you do just that. Software for the Soul, Psalms for Everyone, available on Kindle, Audible, and Amazon.com. Software for the Soul.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. As I promised you, we have a great man that works his heart out all those years for the state of Israel, for the Jewish people, for the goodness of this world, and for the peace in the universe. Ilan Ronen, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm happy to be.
I'm happy to have you here, my friend. Now tell me, we heard so many things about Ethiopia in the last few days, and I wonder if you have a perspective, or we just want to talk about the new adventure that you're taking on creating some kind of non-state organization, as you spoke.
Okay, so I will do it shortly in each part, so I will be able to show and to explain. Ethiopia is 100 million people. Now, Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, Ethiopia, all of them, 5 countries are using the Nile water. England was interesting for cotton, and in 1916 or 19, they did rules and contract. The water of the Nile belongs to Egypt. But the Nile is starting from these 5 countries. And they are poor countries, they have not enough food, and they cannot, until now they was not using much the water because they was afraid. Ethiopia said it's enough, and they built a big dam. We have to remember also Egypt did many years ago the Aswan Dam, yes? So right. Ethiopia says also we can do a dam. Then Egypt came after many years of not good connections. They came for a meeting in Addis Ababa. It was last year. And they did agreement, and everything is by rules and by control. But big countries interesting to sell weapons and to see fights in Africa. Yes, so somebody is mixing around. Because good meetings of big countries, I don't know if United Nations, because the scale of the size for it, can solve it with no fight. There's no need to fight. I guess I can find a solution. And they are doing now strikes in Ethiopia against Egypt because some countries says Egypt have to fight for the water and all this. So people of Ethiopia start to ask the government, are you afraid of them? I hope it will be okay, and the food and the water and the agriculture will use the water of the Nile.
For all of them, of course, it's important. Now there is a new venture that you are taking on, and it was very interesting because you were talking about the fact that in the United Nations we have like 196 states, and in the rest, and there are many more in the rest of the world that are not even included. Is that what you're doing? Did I understand correct?
Yeah, I will explain this, and if you let me after, I'll explain another 2 or 3 things. I call it United Lost Nations. Same as UN, I have ULN. And it took me 2 years to fight and to register it as a site. Yes, because, of course, all the good countries and all the sweet ones are against to talk about. But I found it is more countries, lost countries, or occupied, or destroyed under force. Yes, they have no rights. They are suffering over there. So I said I must do an institute. It will be a platform, or it will be a stage for people of these lost countries to talk, to write, to have a place. Same as they are good countries, have United Nations. And in the beginning, it took me a little bit. It was some hard. I don't know who pushed it all the time out and out. But I paid.
So how many countries do you have by now?
I have now more than 20, almost 30. You see, I call it I have because I'm counting only on real countries, not a fake, not demagogia, yes, because many other countries interesting to put some
for example,
I'm not give now names because it's in Europe, 5 of them, and in Europe it is more than 10 lost countries. Some of them even cannot talk about independence. Countries are arresting, and we are talking about the normal Europe, not the far Russian countries or something like this. More than 10 are in the side of Russia to China, and more than 10 in the area of India and Asia. Yes, in Africa it's still few. Yes, even here in the Mediterranean we have. Yes, not the ones what everybody thinking. It's another ones. So this is the United Lost Nations. This I need some people, like English speakers, because I never study English. So I need some.
You did well. You're doing great. You're doing great, especially when you have such a great Ethiopia connection. Now let me drop you the incredible question that I want to drop to you because you understand Ethiopian very much and you're connected to it by family and you travel a lot there. And a famous story that a lot of researchers, a lot of adventurers, that are looking for the lost ark of the temple, they are saying that they follow it to Ethiopia. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, I know. You see, a relative of my family is even involved in it over there, yes. The story, it is continuously from the time of Queen Sheba, but nobody proved it archaeologic. But they believe they are living the life of the Bible. Even the Christians in Ethiopia, they are not eating pigs; they are keeping kosher. And it is few countries like Tigray, they are Christian Jewish or Jewish Christians. Yes, there was until 200 years ago Jewish, and they believe they have the Holy Ark. And the church of them, it is holding it, and they are waiting for sometime the temple in Jerusalem to connect with them and to build and to be together with them. I mean, to join the Holy Ark and all the other things.
We're ready. We are ready. Are you kidding? We are ready. Just give us, the notice, because once the Ark will be found, the way to construction is easy. It will be 1, 2, 3 because the Jewish people cannot refuse it. So it has to come out, and the fact that they have some kind of hua there, it means that maybe the ark is starting to get active, because it's active when it's creating a problem. When it wants to move, that ark it will create some hua. That's what happened when they move it to the wrong places. But the fact that they have this story about it, and the fact that the ark is stored there, preserved, kept safe, kept Orly, this is a compliment to the Ethiopian people. And I do believe it's there. I do. I honestly believe it's there.
If you say in Ethiopia, if you tell them we are going to build the temple, walk to Israel, there's 100 million people tomorrow will walk to Israel. Same as the Netzion, the Falasha, the Israel, walk to Israel through Habash, because they are living the life of the Bible. Until now, for them, the Old Testament, it is the most important.
It's amazing. What a great story. What a great nation.
Only with your permission, a sample for it, how important it is. You see, women in Africa, they have no pension and no social security. If they have no babies, they will die because their husband will kick them away. They will be in the street, and then. So I said I must fix IVF, fertility, in Africa.
Okay.
I asked why. They said the church against it and the politicians. So I left to the Pope of Africa. I supposed to have 20 minutes with him, and I came and I said to him, how you can fight against the Holy Bible? How you don't let us to do things what we have ordered in the Old Testament? He says, my son, please, what you say about it? I said, it's in the Bible, pru and revu. It means multiply. And the church don't help a woman to be pregnant and to have a baby. So I see him until 10 o'clock. And 1 week after, I came to the hospital, what I built in Addis Ababa, with many people and a big cross, and they did circle around, and they blessed the hospital to help the women to have babies. Because in the Bible, it says so.
That's so nice. Ilan, you have so many great stories and so much work that you did also in Israel, and a lot of manufacturing job. Do you think that we need to create more instrument of manufacturing in Israel or in the rest of the Middle East? Because, with this economy, I think that we need maybe to talk to you again about this.
Yeah, you see, I'm doing it I did it in Israel, yes, but I'm doing it now in Africa. Yes, I believe about independent small farmer and small workshop and small, not to run so fast as the high-tech is pushing it. It's very important, the high-tech, of course, it's a future. But it is billion of hungry people. Every hour, every day, 30,000 people dying because it's not enough food. And the moderns, they promise to have so many crops and so many, but nobody gives food to the poor people. It's not free. So I'm scoping on it, and it is needed also in Israel.
What's the name of the organization? Because we have 30 seconds. Tell me the name of the organization.
It's called the Food Paradox.
Food Paradox,
because as much as I go reverse, more people have food.
Wonderful. Food Paradox and Ilan Ronen, a man that deserve a big time recognition. God bless you, my friend. We'll go into a break right now. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Thank you, Ilan. Thank you. Bless your heart.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
In a time where feelings have become fact, where rational thought and common sense has disappeared, one man stands above it all.
I'm Howie Sobiker, your political hitman.
Political Hitman airs every Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. North American time, 7 a.m. Israeli time, only on Israel News Talk Radio.
Are you interested in transforming your life, drawing closer to the Creator, and uncovering the deeper meanings and hidden treasures in the Hebrew Bible?
Then join me, Rav Yitzhak Michelson,
and me, William Hall,
on the Science of Kabbalah, where we are seeking to narrow the gap between what we understand of our physical and spiritual worlds. So make sure to tune in every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Israel time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, here on Israel News Talk Radio.
And we are back. It's Orly Benny Davis, and this is from Jerusalem with Love. We have the honor, an incredible pleasure to have with us today a Professor Hillel Weiss from the Bar Ilan University, a professor of literature that, hold in the Bar Ilan institution an humongous center that Ladinos, Yiddish, and all kind of, Hebrew reflections. And of course, he's a big researcher on the literature. Hillel, welcome to the show.
Please, I didn't hear. What did you ask?
I said welcome. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to have you. I know you cannot hear you. Many people complain about that. I'm going to raise the voice and try to talk louder. Now, Hillel, you work so hard for the Jewish people. You see that we have an election coming up in United States of America. You see the peace accord, and we're asking you, do you think we are getting closer to this redemption days? Is President Trump is doing God's work? Is the peace accord is something that we need to glorify, or there is other things?
President Trump had to be appreciated a lot. He did quite everything, and very logically and systematically. But we have to remember one thing. Nobody can delete or forget the temple, forget the Bible and forget the Temple Mount, and make it as a site for pilgrimage only for Muslims, even if they are friends. All the nations have been set out from the Ark of Noah on 27th of Cheshvan. It's the 14th of November, 2 weeks later. And we have to remember this treaty for all the humanity, for Gentiles and Jews, to keep the 7 laws. Noah made this sacrifice of the treaty on the Temple Mount, on the altar. This is a tradition. It's belonged to all the humanity, not only to one religion or another religion. And I hope that after Trump will win the election, he will go further with his mission, and he will invite all the nations to the Temple Mount as representative, and he will reset a new United Nations as a court of justice from Zion, from Jerusalem, all the nations. That's our anticipations from the President Trump. But meanwhile, the Jews are thrown out from the Temple Mount, as had been yesterday.
The practice is that the police is not, freedom of religion for Jews on Temple Mount does not exist.
This is a
everybody should know that.
A strange and ugly thing, that it's not from only from the time of Netanyahu. It's from the beginning, after the Temple Mount was set free. The Jews have been afraid from themselves. They are afraid from the temple. They are afraid from their mission and religion. And they try to flatter all the nations, but not the Jews. The Jews are throwing out from the temple.
It's amazing to me that there is a peace accord with Jordan that supposedly we're supposed to get our honorable time to practice our religion. That's in the peace accord. And for some reason, everybody thinks that they can keep on going and eliminating completely any kind of rights of the Jews on Temple Mount, and to pray, to hold the tallit, to have a book, to even say Shema Israel, you're not allowed on Temple Mount. So why they negate us?
I appreciate your courage to set this topic on the table. because it's awful. You know, in the Trump first program, what he called the Deal of Century, there was a section that it's only pay lips pay, but that any religion will have its right on special holidays to pray on the Temple Mount. This section was cancelled in the Abraham Accord. In the Abraham Accord, what Jared Kushner said, he applied only to the Muslims. And he said, you can come now and see that Al-Aqsa is for everyone, for any Muslims, but it's not for the Jews. This is something awful. And I want to say that I'm afraid if Trump will just give a hint, I'm not going to contradict the Bible. I'm not going to contradict the evangelical anticeptions. I'm not going to contradict the Jews. But we are now in a situation that is ongoing peace. But the last goal is the house of prayer on the Temple Mount for all the nations. If he will say such a thing more or less, I'm sure that the voters that he missed, will come back to him as it was on 2016. All the same.
Exactly. Yeah. If you are on the right track, God's help you. You need to be with a plan, and that's why President Trump need to call upon all to recognize the fact that that holy site is holy for everybody, and everybody should have a prayer hall there for all nation, all religion under one God. That's the purpose of that Temple Mount. This is correct, what you said?
100% correct. You represent perfect the idea, and you can go on with it, and I'm sure that you will be heard, and you will be changed the election from defeat to
the
a
election.
great victory.
Listen, I believe he's a messenger of God. I have no question about the fact that Donald Trump is a true messenger. The question is if that true messenger is on his path in the right track, because if it deviates, that's where we have a problem. And from history, and you reminded me today.
The Cyrus also, after a very short time, he listened to all the inciters, all the enemies of Israel, and the building of the temple was stopped for 18 years till his grandchild continued. And now, if Trump is on a crossroad, he can go on the right path, but he can go and stop it. It's an amazing miracle that all those Muslims and Arab states are following his message. And I'm sure that it can come only for good, because they will see that Israel and Jews are noble, loyal, truthful people, and it can be changed only for good. But it must be said. It must be said very, very precise.
Clearly.
What is the goal?
That we want to have a one united house for everybody to come and worship one God only. And that's our message. When God of Israel, of course, is the God of Abraham, and Abraham is the forefather of everybody. So we are united. That's unification of all branches of Abraham children at the end of the day.
This by more portions that we read the Jews on this last Shabbat, all the 70 nations are nominated by the name, the sons of Japheth, the sons of Ham, and the sons of Shem. All those are the 70 nations. Nobody is missed there. From Okeana to the Pacific Ocean, and from the north to the west, all the people on earth are one humanity. And all the humanity, the eyes from China to South America, east to Zion, east to the temples, east to the only one God, to bow, to pray, and to be humble. This is what will save the humanity from plagues, from wars, and from deserts and every plague that was on Egypt time.
Right. Listen, we're having a plague right now, so I'm taking the moment to pray with you, so the world will be safer, because you're a holy man, and I know that your prayer means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do thank you so much for coming on the show. We are wrapping up this segment, and this is like the end of the show. And Hillel Weiss, Professor Hillel Weiss from the Bar Ilan Institute, it's always a pleasure talking to you. You're an incredible, savvy man, and I hope that God give you the tools to implement whatever vision you guys have together, all of us together.
Amen.
Amen. Have a good one. Thank you so much. All right, so 30 seconds, and we are wrapping up another show. Have a great election day, President Trump and all the Republican friends and all the good guys. May they win strong and loud. And we want South Carolina to be with Lindsey Graham, of course, and be well. I know that it's Halloween soon, so happy Halloween, everybody. And just whatever you are, just be good. Pray to God. He loves you. Okay, ciao, ciao.
Where can you get the inside news on Israel? At Israel News Talk Radio, we're dedicated to sharing Israel's inside story with the world by providing our listeners with news on Israeli politics, current affairs, and Israeli Jewish culture. The Israel News Talk Radio homepage also provides you, the listener, with useful information at your fingertips, with scrolling news headlines, weather, currency exchange, Shabbat candlelighting times, and so much more. Our radio programming is always accessible and on demand. We operate absolutely free of charge for everyone, everywhere. If you love what we do, partner with us now by becoming an Israel News Talk Radio supporter. With your support, you'll be inscribed on our Israel News Talk Radio Wall of Fame. There's nothing like us in the world. Be part of something great. Israel News Talk Radio. Straight talk from Israel.
Howdy, this is Rita from League City, Texas, now living in Israel. And though my heart may have belonged to Texas, it now belongs to Israel and all the fantastic show hosts at Israel News Talk Radio.
Hi, this is Michael Solomon from Kiryat Arba, Israel. And why do I love listening to Israel News Talk Radio? Because I love listening to the interesting interviews they do and their news reporting that most other media sources don't cover.
Hey, this is Nicoleko from Malmö, Sweden. It gets pretty cold here in Sweden, so I love cuddling up with a warm cup of tea while I listen to Israel News Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, this is Frank Morris from Tennessee. Me and my dog Buster really love listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.
News, opinion, and more. You're listening to Israel News Talk Radio.